If you've got a WordPress site, you need to pay attention because ransomware attacks are no joke. They can take your site hostage, mess up your business, and create a massive headache. But don't worry folks, I've got your back. I'm Daniel, and today we are diving into something super important: ransomware. In this video, we'll cover what ransomware is, how it works, the types of ransomware out there, and most importantly, how to protect your WordPress site from these attacks. So stick around and let's get started. What is ransomware and how does it work? Alright, let's break it down. What exactly is ransomware? Ransomware is a type of malware that locks or encrypts your data, making it completely inaccessible. Imagine this: one day you try to access your website or files, and boom, they are locked up tight. You can't get to anything. Then out of nowhere you get a message from the attacker demanding a ransom, usually money or cryptocurrency, to unlock it for you. Here's how it usually goes down. You might click on a link that seems harmless, open a sketchy email attachment, or accidentally download infected software. Before you know it, the ransomware spreads through your website, locking up your files, and even kicking you out of your WordPress admin panel. And then comes the ransom note. It's like a digital hostage situation, often with a ticking clock to stress you out even more. They'll tell you to pay up if you want your stuff back. And here's the worst part, folks. There's no guarantee they'll actually unlock your data, even if you pay. They might just take the money and vanish. It's a dirty game, and it's why protecting your site against ransomware is so important. Types of ransomware. Let's talk about the different types of ransomware so you know what you are up against. Encrypting ransomware. This is the most common type. It encrypts your files, making them completely unusable until you get the decryption key. If you ever get it. Locker ransomware. Locker ransomware doesn't encrypt your files, but locks you out of your WordPress admin panel or website backend. It's like getting locked out of your own house. Scareware. This one's more about psychological manipulation. It might show fake alerts claiming your website is infected and push you to pay for cleanup services. Double extortion ransomware. This is next level stuff. The attacker not only locks your files, but also threatens to leak your data if you don't pay. Each type is dangerous in its own way, and they all require you to stay vigilant. The damage ransomware can do to your WordPress site. So, what's the worst that can happen if your WordPress site gets hit by ransomware? Actually, a lot, folks. Loss of data. Your website's files, content, and user data could be gone for good if you don't have proper backups. Downtime. A ransomware attack can take your site offline for hours, days, or even weeks. If you run a business that's lost customers and revenue, damaged reputation, your users or clients might lose trust in you if their data is compromised. And trust me, rebuilding the trust is hard. Financial loss. Even if you don't pay the ransom, cleaning up the mess can cost you time and money. And the damage isn't just technical, guys. It's emotional and financial too. Methods for protecting your website against ransomware. Here's the part you've been waiting for. How do you protect your WordPress site against ransomware attacks? Keep your WordPress updated. Guys, this is non-negotiable. Always keep your WordPress core, themes, and plugins up to date. Outdated software is like leaving your door unlocked for hackers. Use a reliable hosting provider. A good hosting provider is your first line of defense. Providers like Verpex offer advanced security features like firewalls, virus scanning, SSL encryption, and automatic updates. Plus, their 24/7 support team can help you quickly handle any security issues. Install security plugins. There are tons of great WordPress security plugins, like WordFence or Sucuri. These tools monitor your site for malware and block suspicious activity. Regular backups. Backup your website regularly, either manually or using plugins like Updraft Plus. If you get attacked, you can restore your site without paying a ransom. Enable SSL encryption. An SSL certificate encrypts data between your site and its visitors, making it harder for hackers to intercept sensitive information. The good news? Hosting providers like Verpex often include free SSL certificates in their plans. Use strong passwords and 2FA. Weak passwords are like an open invitation for attackers. Use strong, unique passwords and enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, for an extra layer of security. Educate yourself and your team. Finally, stay informed about phishing scams and other common tricks hackers use. The more you know, the better prepared you will be. Essential WordPress security. Plugins to protect your site from hackers. Let's look at ways to protect a WordPress site from ransomware and other types of hacking. We'll need to install some plugins to secure our site. One of these plugins is Google Authentication. This plugin enables two-factor authentication. Let's install and activate the plugin. It generates a secret code for each user. You can scan this code using your phone and a special app. Or enter it into the Google Authentication app. So let's download the app from the App Store and open it. There are two options: scan code and then enter setup key. You'll need to use the setup key option. Now I'll name the account. And I will get a code that I need to enter on my website. If you log out of the site, it will ask you for this Google Authentication code, which you'll find in the app enter the code, and you'll see that your login is now secure. The next plugin that helps protect your site from hacking tools is VPS Hide Login. This plugin lets you hide the WordPress login page with a custom link. Go to the settings, and you'll see different redirect options. For example, if someone tries to access the default WordPress login page, they'll get redirected to a Foracom4 error page or to a custom page set by the plugin. When we log out, we see our custom login page. If we try to access the default login URL, we'll be redirected to the 404 page. The next plugin we'll look at is called Limit Login Attempts Reloaded. It helps manage login attempts. Install and activate it. Then check out its settings. There's a premium version available, but the free version will be enough for most users. Set up notifications so that if there are more login attempts than allowed, you'll get an email alert. In the premium version, you can also check the dashboard to see how many failed login attempts occurred. You can adjust the lockout time after failed attempts. For example, block logins for 20 minutes after 4 wrong attempts. You can also whitelist an IP address that will always have access and won't count towards failed login attempts. There's also a log where you can see IP addresses with failed login attempts. Since we just installed the plugin, this log will be empty for now. Finally, let's look at the last plugin. WordPress. This plugin is both a firewall and a malware scanner. It also offers tools for managing login security, since we don't have a license yet, we'll use the free version. You'll get the free license sent to your email. Check your email. Connect the license. And activate it once it's set up. Everything works automatically. WordPress works as both a plugin and a firewall. You can scan your site's code for malware and configure the firewall settings. There's a list of IP addresses allowed to access the site, a list of blocked IPs, and a list of ignored IPs. It also has brute force protection, which defends against password guessing attacks. You can set limits on login attempts, forgotten password requests, and rate limits for specific triggers or events. There's also a list of allowed URLs for sending information to the site via post requests. With brute force protection enabled, the dashboard shows stats like how many login attempts were blocked. The malware scanner is easy to configure too. You can also set up login security. Though this plugin doesn't use Google authentication for two-factor authentication. That's why we installed the Google authentication plugin earlier. The free features of WordPress are enough for most WordPress sites, and I recommend using it on every WordPress site. Final thoughts. Ransomware might sound scary, but with the right precautions, you can protect your WordPress site and your peace of mind. From keeping your site updated to choosing a secure hosting provider like Verpex, a little effort goes a long way in keeping hackers out. So friends, don't wait for an attack to happen. Start taking steps today to secure your website. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Until next time.